Hello, today I'm going to be talking about the Maybelline Fit Me foundations, or the line in general for what I've tried. I have currently got the powder, the anti-shine foundation stick and the liquid foundation. I'm just going to talk about what I think about the foundation because I've been using it for a while. So if you have been following my videos, even though they're in Norwegian, it's not that difficult to understand that I love it because I've used it in every video. And that is the Fit Me liquid foundation. I have the shade 110, which is porcelain. In everything else I have 115, but with the foundation, the 115, it was a little bit too dark on me, so it didn't blend down my neck as I would have liked it to. But this is an exact match, more or less. It's got a yellow undertone to it, and my skin has got kind of a natural red undertone, so it's a little bit off there. But I used the ivory, which is the 115 one, the powder, to kind of counteract that. And so my shade would be 115, which is ivory, but I have to use the 110 in the liquid foundation because the 115 was a tad bit too dark. I've had this foundation for a couple of months now. Not entirely empty, but I don't expect 100 uses of it anymore. I have a little bit, and I have tried many different ways to apply it. I've tried using a regular flat foundation brush. I've tried using a buffing brush, which you've seen me use in most of the videos, but my favourite way of applying it is either with my fingers or using a sponge. This is a triangle sponge and I use it damp when applying it. So those are my two favourite ways. The reason is because I like the natural finish that they give, and I feel like it looks a lot more natural. It sinks into the skin a lot quicker as well than when I use a brush, and I use a lot less product when I use my fingers or the sponge, because with my fingers I use not even an entire pump to cover my entire face. I use a little bit more than a pump to kind of with the sponge, because even though I use it damp, it kind of does take up a little bit of product, which is, it's a sponge, and my foundation is water based, I do believe, so that kind of says itself. But I find with the brushes I use a lot more product, and particularly with the foundation brush, it's nice if you want a flawless kind of cover everything up. Those work really amazingly, but they use a lot more product. I have to use 1.5, nearly 2 pumps sometimes, because the brushes take a lot of the product. They don't work it well into the skin as well, I feel, as I would have liked them to. And I'm not a big fan of the finish, because the foundation itself is quite shiny. It's very dewy. If you like a dewy finish, then definitely the foundation for you. I have very dry skin, and this has been working amazingly. It does not sit in any of the dry spots. It's not heavy on the skin, it's not cakey. If you have an oily skin though, I can't really speak for you because I don't have one, but use a primer. I use a moisturiser underneath as my primer, but if you have an oily skin, moisturise and then use a primer, just in case, so you know that it will stay put. Even though I kind of like the dewy finish, I do set it with the powder because I want it to stay all day, and I don't like it to move around a lot. So I do set it with the Fit Me powder. I use a regular kind of powder brush. This is a Mary Kay one. It's the one that I have, that I kind of usually use. Or I will use a smaller brush. For the under eye area, I do really like it. Does blend in beautifully, the foundation, but it can kind of sit in those lines if you don't powder, so I really recommend powdering. What I use a tiny brush. This is an eyeshadow crease brush, also from Mary Kay, and the reason I like it is because it kind of fits underneath it kind of nice, and it kind of works the product in so that it doesn't sit in your fine lines. I also, since I don't have a concealer that I do use from the same line, I have a couple of concealers as well. I don't use them a lot. I'm quite lucky with my skin. I don't have a lot of breakouts. I do have quite a lot of redness on my cheeks and around my nose though. So I do use this kind of as a concealer as well, and it covers up nicely. I would say it's a medium finish, medium coverage. Share it out if you want to. It's buildable, which is really awesome, and it covers nicely. It blends really awesome. It's quite liquidy, which kind of is as you please. It has a pump here, which is really awesome. So very pleased with it. I have filmed a kind of demo of how I apply it and how I use it, so that will be rolling in now. So now I'm just going to let this sink into the skin for a bit. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and I'm going to come back and powder and finish up. So now I've done my makeup, as you can see, I'm going to powder. I'm going to use the powder and the powder brush. This is a Mary Kay one. Kind of swirl that in, tap off and then press it on. I'm just going to swap over to a smaller brush. This is a eye crease brush also from Mary Kay, and I'm going to use that to set around the smaller areas. So around the nose, extra on some spots, and underneath the eyes, just to make sure everything is nice and set. I'm going to go into the technical thing of these. You get 30 millilitres in the liquid foundation. It has an SPF of 18. It comes in tons of shades, so you should be able to find yours. It has a pump, which is a plus in my book. So, and the packaging is quite nice as well. It has a glass bottle with the kind of black, so it looks really chic, and it has the number the front there, if you can see. You get 9 millilitres of product. It's plastic packaging, it's twist up, it's easy application, it blends really awesome. The packaging looks kind of nice as well. It has the number and the name on the top. They don't have that big of a variety in Norway of the shades of these. I think you can get 4 or 5. Of course, look into where you're from and see how many shades there are. But it's really good if you're on the go, you're a bit of a hurry, or you want something to put in your purse. This is awesome. It has a nice coverage as well. It blends really. It's nice and creamy as well, which is something that I didn't expect. I expected it to be a bit drier, the texture of it. Onto the powder, you get 9 grams of product. It's a plastic packaging. You open it up and you have the powder. On the bottom you get that kind of thing, and there's a mirror. Oh look, that's the camera. It has a mirror as well, which is really nice. The powder comes in this round form. It is easy to apply, and it comes in a nice variety of shades as well. I can't remember how many because it's been a while since I went and looked at it. That was it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you do like it, give it a thumbs up, and please do subscribe for more makeup related videos in the future. That was it. Bye.